Hi, thank you for signing up and downloading our template. So what I'm going to explain to you is what exactly can you expect from the file. So I'm assuming right now that you are working in a finance department, you're an accountant, and you're probably using Excel or some other tool to do all your financial reporting. So what this file can provide to you, it's an example of what a business intelligence application with Power BI can do for you. So it's more like an automated financial reporting system. And some sections that you're going to see are, we got a section to see your profit and loss, your balance sheet, see your actuals versus budget performance, and then some other tabs when you can see sort of more like a visual indicators that are easier to read in the spreadsheets, so you can analyze your profitability or just study the trends or patterns of some of your indicators. So hopefully you will be able to see what can you expect once you implement with Power BI a financial reporting application. And also, well, you have the file, so you are free to, if you have a skill developer in your team, you can already reverse engineer what we've done with this file and then attempt to implement it for your own organization. You're free to do that. So let's get started to it, and then you will see a demo of what the file can do. So let's get started with the demo, and let's have a look at some of the features of this report. The first section that we're gonna see is the profit and loss section. So you can control click so you can follow the link. And the first thing that you're gonna see, it's all these filters on the top. This allows you to see, you can change the data for a different year. You can look at the data for, in this case, this is a geographical organization. So look at Germany. The default is the entire organization, of course. But in your case, when you implement this for your company, there will be different criteria or different filters that are relevant to you to see, like different cost center or departments, or basically, well, whatever is relevant for your company. And as long as your data can support it, you can design a solution that can filter for it. Right, so as you see this profit and loss statement, it looks like a spreadsheet. But if you compare it to what you will see in Excel, it's that it has the advantage to be dynamic. So you can collapse and expand this section. And let's assume, for example, that you're only interested to see data very summarized. So I'm drilling up this arrow here. And now I'm seeing the data, all the way from your gross sales, costs, to the profit after tax. And then perhaps I want to see the data really explore each one of the individual accounts that, for example, they comprise the depreciation, and see the numbers. So this is based actually on this is a simple chart of accounts. Like the chart of accounts of your company, well, it's likely will be more complex, or perhaps not, depending on the size of your organization. But by having this chart of accounts, you can implement this structure where you can see all that here. And the section below, we have some supporting visuals, like this is more like a trend analysis of your operating expenses and gross margin. And these bar charts are more like ranking, like your operating profit by organization, your operating expenses by department group. So now let's have a look at the balance sheet section. And as you can see, it's quite similar to the profit and loss. We have the same capability to expand and collapse. So I should click that. Expand and collapse the data. And we have supporting visuals to analyze trends that they make it easier to understand what's going on along the years instead of just looking at the spreadsheets. And we have another supporting visual for the trend of your financial ratios. Let's go and have a look at the budget performance section. Now, for budget performance, what I set up here is what is called bullet charts, and bullet charts are quite useful when you want to make a comparison of your actuals against your budget. Just very quickly, your actuals are this light blue bar, the actual number, and this line here is the target, the budget target. So you can see that in this case, even though the different numbers, they're not too far off our budget from our actuals. But now if you go and have a look at this Canadian division, the actual operating expenses exceed for a fair amount our budget amount. So once we have that information, we can go ahead and see, okay, let's drill more into our data and understand why are you so far off for this Canadian division. So basically this provides more like a summary dashboard, and it can raise red flags on your budget performance. Let's say now we want to see the data in a little more detail, like we got this labor expenses, for example, which summarize all the labor accounts. But let's have a look and do what is called a drill through, so we can see the budget expense in more detail. And now we can see the salaries, payroll taxes, employee benefits, and see again this actual versus budget performance for each one of them. So when you have data, you always have the option to do this in Power BI to create subsequent drill through pages, where you can have a summary page like this one, and then let's have a look at the depreciation, and then a subsequent detail page where you can see all these accounts in more detail. This is quite useful. You probably want to see in your organizations do this sort of setup where you have summary dashboards and detailed dashboards, and it really gives you a good overview of everything happening, summarized or a really detailed way. So let's go back to the home page and have a look at this profitability analysis, which is we're just making use of bar charts as comparison. They're a good visual to compare. Like, so here we see all this Canadian division, all this Southwest division, and we can see which one contributes more in our gross margin, operating profit. We can also explore the trends. You can see here that the gross margin is quite a bit larger than the net profit after tax. So this is a division that is not as profitable as say, for example, the Southwest or Canadian division. Here we're using bar charts to compare like a net profit after tax percentage. Is going from the gross margin is going all the way to a 43.2% on the net profit after tax. Here we're doing more like we're doing a ranking of the profitability, and then we're doing here a ranking of how much is contributing the profit after tax as a part of the total organization. So, well, let's have a look at the trend section. And these visuals here are pretty useful to understand not only the proportion, like for these operating expenses, the major expense are actually the labor expenses. As you can see, this really big section here. And we have seen how not only the proportion, but also how they're evolving through time. For this working capital section, where we have the cash, debtors, and creditors, we can see how they're evolving over time. And this gives you a ranking. Like the one on the section above, it tells you which one is larger. Like in this case, let's say for January, we got 7.6 million of cash, 6.6 million on accounts receivable. But then the next month, our accounts receivable are larger than our cash in hand. So it tells you, it ranks over time, this visualization. That's basically what it does. So it's quite useful to do like a visual study of what's happening. Okay, so I think I show you basically what can you expect from implementing a business intelligence application with Power BI. When you set up this for your company, you will want to do the whole architecture, do the data connections, and make this fully automated. So the idea is to establish some standard reports that the majority of your financial department can rely on. Set up the connection to either your accounting program, your data warehouse, or whatever your data source is, and set this implemented once, and then have a solid system that you can normally rely for your month-end reporting, and you can always use. So thanks for watching, and yeah, hoping this has been useful to you and can give you really an idea of what to expect once you implement this for organization. All right, thanks.